I got involved with For Kids' Sake 15 years ago when we started doing some of the projects in Austin, Texas to support the orphanages and schools. We did a Choices for Children conference for 3 different sessions, and it was a great project before I even knew all of the people involved. I realized with working with For Kids' Sake was that we were making a really big difference in the lives of some really needy children in Bangladesh. I could barely recognize where Bangladesh was on a map when I first started working for this project, but as I got to know the country more and the people more, and the people both in the United States that were working for the project as well as the people in Bangladesh, I was convinced that this was a great way to spend my time and a great group of people to help out. It was about 5 or 6 years after I started volunteering for Kids' Sake that I got an opportunity to go to Bangladesh and visit. It was 2009, and I went there with my whole family, my husband and my 2 kids, and it was so amazing to get to see the projects in real life and see these beautiful children. My kids were teenagers at the time, and they were astounded at the fact that these kids who had virtually nothing were so happy. And we looked at what made these kids so happy, and we knew that the projects that For Kids' Sake were doing had a huge impact for them. For Kids' Sake supports the orphans in every way, from their food and their clothing, medical care, everything, schooling, and not only makes a difference to orphans that live on site all the time, but also thousands of kids that live around the schools that we support. It was so beautiful to see the projects in real life and to know that all the money that we had been collecting was going to really help some kids in a real way. When we were on that trip, my daughter and I got the opportunity to stay at the girls' orphanage. This orphanage the site was about a year old. It was very new at the time, and these girls just opened their home to us. They had barely had a bed to themselves at this time, but they gave us beds and mosquito netting. They taught us how to wash our clothes and laughed at us because we didn't know how to wring them out as well as they could. We shared their bathrooms, we shared their showers, we did everything with these women, and we were really inspired to live alongside them and know that their lives were being changed dramatically through the funding that we had helped to raise. My daughter also had a very profound experience realizing that she has so much and she takes it all for granted, and these girls had so little, and that they were so happy and so graciously hosting us. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. Over the years, I was one of the people that helped establish the 5K that For Kids' Sake does, and I just feel like the events that For Kids' Sake put on have the double benefit of raising money for the kids in Bangladesh, but also bringing the community together in Carbondale locally. We bring together people of all walks of life, whether they're think of themselves as runners or they're just families that like to go walking in strollers. It's a very accessible event, and people just love the event. I talked to a woman yesterday who had run our recent 5K event, and she said this was the most sparkling event that she had ever been to, and I thought that was such a perfect word, because everybody who comes knows that they're bringing their heart forward to help a bunch of kids, and they see all the love and care that we all bring to these projects. So I have a role in both of the major events that For Kids' Sake does, and it's really worth spending a little bit of my extra time to make sure that orphans and schools in Bangladesh are supported. I was inspired about 5 years ago to become an ongoing supporter of For Kids' Sake, a friend of For Kids' Sake, and give monthly. I feel like it's easier in my budget to just plan out a certain amount to give and give on an ongoing basis. I always have those big plans to give a lot of money at the end of the year or to give a lot of money when they're doing big donations, but it's never really that reasonable for me to give a lot of money. So instead, just carving out a little bit of money each month in my budget and staying consistent with that really feels like, for me, it works the best. And I also know that For Kids' Sake can count on that money as a constant income stream. It's just a matter of converting a little bit of priorities in my life that seem fairly frivolous to me into something that really makes a big difference to some kids in Bangladesh. I really think that the ongoing support is the way that For Kids Sake really can count on their supporters and really know that the money is going to be coming through to support their children. I think one of the best things that I like about For Kids Sake since I've been involved is I know how well the For Kids Sake administration spends their money. They spend so much time getting donations for as much of the projects as they can so that the administrative costs are minimal and that all this money goes straight to the kids in Bangladesh. Knowing how far the dollar goes in Bangladesh makes me realize that just even they're saving just a little bit of money through their frugal spending and through getting donations really helps to send a lot of money to the people who are in most need.